surface contact, 8,000 yards.
Is this some kind of exercise?
Probably. I want to have this thing thoroughly investigated.
We'll get a team in the water right away.
Get me on it.
Don't think that's a good idea!
Got it, Chief.
Battleship is one of those films that takes a familiar concept, humans encountering an unknown alien force, and scales it up into something loud, chaotic, and visually overwhelming. But beneath all the explosions and spectacle, there is a surprisingly grounded story about responsibility, redemption, and learning how to lead when everything is falling apart. The film centers around Alex Hopper, a reckless and impulsive naval officer who, at the beginning of the story, is far from the kind of person you would trust in a high-stakes situation. He is introduced not as a hero, but as someone who drifts through life without direction, constantly making poor decisions and relying on others to clean up his mess. His brother, Stonehopper, is the complete opposite, disciplined, respected, and already an accomplished naval commander. This contrast immediately sets the tone for Alex's character arc, because while the world is about to face an unprecedented threat, Alex himself is fighting his own internal battle to grow up and take responsibility. The story unfolds against the backdrop of an international naval exercise in the Pacific Ocean, where multiple countries have gathered to demonstrate cooperation and military strength. The atmosphere at first feels routine, even celebratory, as ships from different nations maneuver across the water in coordinated drills. There is a sense of global unity, but also a subtle undercurrent of competition, as each fleet tries to assert its own superiority. Alex, assigned to one of these ships, continues to show signs of his immaturity, clashing with authority and failing to take his role seriously. Yet even in these early moments, there are hints that he possesses instinct and courage, qualities that have not yet been fully realized. Meanwhile, far beyond Earth, signals sent into deep space have attracted the attention of an unknown alien civilization. What begins as an attempt at communication turns into something far more dangerous when several massive alien vessels arrive in Earth's orbit and descend into the ocean. The transition from routine military exercise to full-scale alien invasion is sudden and disorienting, mirroring the confusion experienced by the characters. One moment they are training, and the next they're facing an enemy unlike anything they have ever encountered. These alien ships are not just technologically advanced. They operate with a precision and purpose that suggests a carefully planned mission, though their true intentions remain unclear at first. When the alien fleet deploys a massive energy barrier over a section of the ocean, it effectively isolates a group of naval ships from the rest of the world. This containment field creates an intense sense of claustrophobia, as the trapped forces realize that they are completely cut off from reinforcements and must solely rely on their own resources. The scale of the threat becomes apparent when the aliens begin attacking, using weapons that far surpass human technology. Their projectiles move with terrifying speed, capable of destroying heavily armored ships in seconds. The destruction is swift and brutal, leaving little time for reaction. Amid this chaos, Alex is thrust into a leadership role he is completely unprepared for. After a devastating attack results in the loss of his commanding officers, he suddenly finds himself in charge. This is the turning point of his character, where the reckless man introduced at the beginning is forced to confront reality. There is no time for hesitation or self-doubt, because the survival of his crew depends on his decisions. What makes this transformation compelling is that it doesn't happen instantly. Alex struggles, makes mistakes, and questions himself, but gradually begins to adapt, drawing on the instincts that were always there beneath his careless exterior. One of the most interesting aspects of the film is how it portrays the aliens. Rather than being mindless invaders, they are shown to have a specific mission, behaving more like a reconnaissance or military unit than a force bent on random destruction. Their actions suggest they are searching for something or attempting to establish communication with their own kind. This adds a layer of complexity to the conflict because it raises the question of whether the destruction they cause is intentional or simply a consequence of their objective. The humans, of course, can only interpret these actions as hostile, leading to a desperate fight for survival. The naval combat sequences are a central highlight, blending traditional warfare tactics with futuristic elements. The film cleverly incorporates the idea of strategy, showing how the human forces attempt to outmaneuver an enemy that is technologically superior. At one point, the use of a grid-based targeting system becomes a crucial tactic, echoing the mechanics of a classic naval strategy game. This approach emphasizes that victory is not just about firepower, but also about intelligence, creativity, and the ability to adapt under pressure. As the battle intensifies, the emotional stakes continue to rise. Alex's relationship with his crew evolves, shifting from one of skepticism to mutual respect. They begin to trust him, not because he is perfect, but because he is willing to take responsibility and put himself on the line. This sense of unity becomes a powerful force, highlighting one of the film's core themes, that leadership is not about authority, but about earning the trust of those you lead. Parallel to the events at sea, there are developments on land that further expand the scope of the story. Civilians and military personnel alike are forced to confront the reality of an alien presence, leading to moments of fear, confusion, and resilience. These scenes provide a broader perspective on the impact of the invasion, reminding the audience that the conflict is not limited to a single battlefield. The sense of global vulnerability adds weight to the narrative, making the stakes feel truly significant. One particularly compelling element is the portrayal of injured veterans who play a role in the unfolding events. Their inclusion serves as a reminder of the human cost of conflict, while also reinforcing the idea that courage and determination are not limited by physical limitations. In a story dominated by advanced technology and massive destruction, these characters bring a grounded, human perspective that adds emotional depth. As the film moves toward its climax, the tension reaches its peak. The remaining ships must face the alien fleet in a final confrontation that will determine the fate of everyone within the barrier. By this point, Alex has fully embraced his role as a leader, demonstrating a level of confidence and decisiveness that would have seemed impossible at the beginning of the story. His journey from an undisciplined officer to a capable commander is one of the film's most satisfying aspects, providing a clear emotional through line amid the spectacle. The final battle is both intense and strategic, showcasing the ingenuity of the human forces as they exploit weaknesses in the alien technology. There is a sense of desperation, but also hope, as the characters refuse to give up despite overwhelming odds. The visuals are grand and explosive, but what makes the sequence truly engaging is the emotional investment built throughout the film. Every decision, every sacrifice carries weight because the audience has seen how far these characters have come. In the end, the resolution of the conflict brings a mix of relief and reflection. The immediate threat is neutralized, but the experience leaves a lasting impact on those who survived. For Alex, the transformation is complete. He is no longer the reckless individual introduced at the start, but someone who understands the importance of responsibility, leadership, and self-belief. His journey is not just about defeating an external dushman, but about overcoming his own limitations. Battleship, at its core, is a film that blends high-concept science fiction with a character-driven narrative. While it delivers the large-scale action and visual spectacle expected from a blockbuster, it also explores themes of growth, teamwork, and resilience. It shows how ordinary individuals can rise to extraordinary challenges when pushed to their limits, and how even in the face of the unknown, determination and unity can make a difference. The film also invites viewers to think about humanity's place in the universe. The idea that a simple attempt to communicate could lead to such a dramatic encounter serves as both a warning and a curiosity. It raises questions about what might exist beyond our world and how we would respond if we were ever faced with a similar situation. Would we be prepared, not just technologically, but emotionally and psychologically? Ultimately, Battleship is a story about confronting the unknown, both externally and internally. It takes the familiar trope of an alien invasion and infuses it with a personal journey that resonates on a human level. The action is intense, the visuals are striking, but it is the transformation of its central character that gives the film its lasting impact. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest battles are not fought against enemies from distant worlds, but within ourselves, as we strive to become the people we are capable of being.